the world about how an interpreter works. So I want the world to see how important we are. We are very important in many settings, you know. We are the voice of the unheard. Just imagine yourself in court. If you are there, your life is in danger. Do you want an AI to help you? You don't want that, right? Because AI still doesn't understand non-verbal cues. Also, it doesn't have empathy. My name is Benjawan Poomsan, and I am a professional writer, translator, and interpreter living in the US and have been working there for over 30 years now. I'm originally from Yasothon, Thailand, the northeast of Thailand. So I speak Lao, Isan, actually it's the Lao language. So I speak English, Lao, and Thai. And now am a Lao and Thai English interpreter in the US.
And what makes you decided to become like an interpreter?
Okay, well, it has to go back to my childhood. Luckily, I was very fortunate to have found my passion at an early age. About 15, I already knew that I wanted to be in the language field because I love language. I love the English, especially the English language. So people would come to me because they know that I'm good at English, right? Because I would look for any materials available at the time to learn English. After that, people would come to me and ask me, "Oh, could you help me translate this? Can you do some work for me? I want to write a letter back in English to my boyfriend," and stuff like that. Right. So that's when it started. I was about 15 or 16 back then.
And when did you decide to move to the United States?
Okay, that's a long story. Okay, so I started learning English when I was in grade 5. In Isan, we didn't start until we are maybe 10 or 11 years old. And after that, I decided to major in English in college. But before I went to college at Konkan University, I got a scholarship as an exchange student to go to Japan.
Oh,
We call it AFS, American Field Service
right.
exchange program. So I got that, but I didn't go to the US yet. Going to the US is my dream, that's my ultimate dream. But I didn't go to the US yet. I went to Japan first for 1 year as an exchange student so I can speak Japanese. And after that, I came back to Thailand after a year. I pursued my study in English as an English major student. After I graduated, 4 years later, I got another scholarship from the Japanese government to go to Japan again. After that, I decided to go to the US to study for my PhD. But I got married. I quit.
So besides your interpretation, I also seen that you have written books before, Thai for beginners, Thais for intermediate, and Thais for advanced. What makes you decide to write about those books?
Okay, that's a very good question. Going back to Japan again,
Okay.
when I was doing my master's, I also taught Thai part-time to Japanese people that wanted to come to Thailand, to live or to work. I developed my own teaching materials. I had handouts for people, and people really like that. I used very simple techniques, and I have my strategy. I like to make my lessons fun and simple, step by step.
Right.
So I started in Japan, and people liked my material, so I kept developing. those materials and later became a book. And my first book is Thai for Beginners, which actually was written after I moved to the US. But instead of Japanese Thai, it's Japanese English. I mean, Thai English.
Thai English.
It's for English speakers.
Have you had any like teaching experience prior to this, or you just?
Oh yes. I actually had been teaching since I was very young because I was a tutor for young children in my village. People would come to me to ask me to help them with English, you know. So I had experience teaching at a young age.
Right. Do you also teach Americans or other foreigners on how to speak Thai?
Certainly. Besides teaching in Japan, after I moved to the US, I started working as a volunteer teacher, teaching Thai at a Thai temple in Berkeley, California, which is near San Francisco.
Right. So how did your like interpretation business develop into like translating for like court cases and become like an official interpreter?
It's very interesting. I knew that I love being a translator and interpreter, but I didn't know that I could do this professionally. One day I went to a Thai market and I asked the owner of the shop, oh, where were you? I didn't see you yesterday. And she said, oh, I went to court. What happened? You got in trouble? And she said, no, I went there as a court interpreter. And I said, oh, how could you interpret in court? She said that the court couldn't find anybody to interpret. They would go to a Thai restaurant to find someone who can speak English and Thai, which is not a very good idea, but that's the best they could do.
Right.
But now they have a new law that passed, and this requires more qualifications for interpreters. That's why we have to pass certain exams in order to become court interpreters. So there are different agencies or organizations that certify or register interpreters on their rosters, right? So for the Judicial Council of California, they provide legal interpreters for the court system. And it was the first year that they wanted to have exotic languages. Languages.
Thai considered exotic.
Yes, exotic languages, because there are languages that are in need, like Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic, French, Portuguese, and they already had certified interpreters, but they didn't have registered interpreters for other languages because they call this process registration exam, which I had to pass. So I took the exam and I passed the very first time after being in America for 1 year.
Wow.
So after I passed the exam, that's when I was qualified to interpret in the court system in California first, and after that I got called to court cases in other states.
So you said you've been all over the United States for like the court cases. What's like one special case that you couldn't forget?
That's a difficult question because I cannot say one because I have so many, right? And but there are certain cases that I often think about, especially sexual assault cases or even murder. Something that have to do with child abuse. I have to translate or interpret everything, so I absorb the trauma, right, over the years. But I cannot answer that question because there's so many there's so many of them.
I guess like the better question is like, since you have been through so many cases, how do you prepare for those?
Initially, I didn't know how to do that because I was new, so I would go and just did my best. It was hard enough to interpret
Right.
Not just because you can speak two languages. You have to know many things. You have to know the culture. You have to know the background of the case. You have to know the terminology, and have to abide by the ethics. For example, translating accurately, impartially, and with high speed. You have to keep confidentiality and all of
Right.
that. So I I just learned from experience, but at the beginning I couldn't handle very well. That's why I faced what we call vicarious trauma.
Vicarious trauma.
You
Could
know
you
what
tell
it
more?
means? Yeah,
No, could you tell
vicarious
more?
trauma is an experience that you receive from another person, the bad experience mostly. You didn't experience that yourself, but you receive the pain and the trauma, the suffering through their emotion. Careers like myself as interpreters or social workers, psychiatrists or psychologists, they have something like that in common.
And so, like, I also seen that you not only you like translating and interpreting for court cases, you also have been interpreting for prominent figures.
Oh
How did
yes.
that even
Okay,
happen?
so of course, I've been an interpreter for a long time as a court interpreter, but for prominent figures like politicians, I I passed another exam with
Oh,
another government agency, which
wow.
is the U.S. State Department.
Ah, right.
But I actually am their Lao interpreter, not their Thai
Oh,
interpreter initially,
interesting.
because there were a lot of Thai interpreters already.
And may I ask when was this?
I started with them in 2015.
Ah, I see.
So they were in need of a Lao interpreter, actually a few Lao interpreters to support President Obama, because President Obama was going to visit Laos, which was the first time U.S. president ever come to Laos, right? So they wanted to have many interpreters in place. So they recruited people who can speak Lao and English, and I passed the exam. But later I became their Thai interpreter as well. So I'm a contract interpreter with the State Department and many other departments too, like
Oh.
Department of Justice, Department of Defense, which is Department of War now.
Your career is so extensive, from interpreting, translating, to even prominent figures, and even writing a book.
Yes.
With your recent film, what makes you decide to do a film about it? What's the story behind it?
Of course, I have translated and interpreted for more than 3,000 cases, I think.
Wow.
So I have a lot of experience. I have many stories. I wanted to tell people about it, but I cannot. So I instead of telling people about the cases, in order to write a good story, I thought to myself, I would write a blog, a post first, and I started writing something, and then I posted in different
May I
chat
ask,
rooms.
when was this? When you started to write a blog?
When Facebook started to come out, when maybe about 2010, 2012,
Early 2010.
very early, but it wasn't popular yet. I think people started to recognize my writing and my posts about Thai people in America around 2015, something like that,
That's
about 10
also
years
when the
ago.
same time
Yes.
you applied for like contract interpreter.
Yes,
Ah.
yes, that's when people started recognizing my work.
And then like from your blogs, how did it become to like the film?
I put my stories, but I changed the content. I want these stories to be didactic, a good example for Thai people living in America and even in Thailand or other countries. So I change details and I make it like a fiction. I cannot take the content, the pure content from what I experienced into writing for the public. And some of the stories are very touching. They said that Benjawan, we really love your writing. We love your books, and maybe you should make a movie about it.
Oh.
I was thinking to myself, but it's like my dream to have my own movie, but I never thought that it would materialize.
Right. Can you talk more about your movie, The Thai Interpreter?
Okay, yes, The Thai Interpreter is a story of myself telling the world about how an interpreter works. Because there are not that many movies, I would say like zero, that is designed or written by a professional interpreter. So I want the world to see how important we are. We are very important in many settings. We are the voice of the unheard.
Right.
And people overlook our importance. We are like invisible heroes.
Right.
So that's the first thing I want to tell the world. The second thing is I want to show Thai people in Thailand how Thai people in the US really live, the real stories. Like when you see how Thai people live on social media and their real life, is different. Many times they don't want to tell their friends and families about how they really live and how they what a hard life they have to go through, like that. So in the movie, we portray some of their stories. And the next one is I want to show the world that Thai people can do something at this magnitude.
Yes.
Making a movie in Hollywood, California, is something is unheard of.
Right, but you made it.
Yes,
and then,
yes.
So what's your role in the film process? Are you a screenwriter, a producer, or are you a director?
It's my baby, so I'm pretty much everything.
Oh.
Of course, is I'm the writer. I am the person behind everything, because
Wow.
the film project originated from my dream, from my passion. So I came up with a story. I wrote a story first, and then I started writing the screenplay. So I'm one of the executive producers myself, and I do almost everything.
Right.
Yes, I help everybody in every stage.
Since you mentioned that your movie, you wanted to show how interpreter is like from an interpreter perspective, what is the misconceptions about your job?
Misconception about interpreters is mostly some people think that we can do everything, or they don't really know how to work with interpreters. Some people think that interpreters can interpret everything. They speak too fast. They don't pause. They just use slang. They don't speak loud enough, and or sometimes they just mumble. We can't interpret stuff like that. So they think that, I have an interpreter, I can just say whatever I want, and it's very difficult for us to interpret at times. So that's one of the challenges that we face.
Right.
Because of the misconception of how we work and how we can do our limitations.
Also, throughout your 30 plus years experience, and of course, times have been changed, technology has been involved, intelligence has been involved. Have they ever been a challenges to you?
Right now, not yet as an interpreter, but as a translator, yes. AI has improved so quickly, so dramatically, and it can translate in seconds, right?
Right.
But we cannot do that fast. However, translators are now used as editors instead. Many translators are already out of work, but we are hired as editors instead. Which I don't do much translation job anymore because I am more involved with interpretation.
Right.
So as an interpreter, I haven't seen my work at risk yet because when you are in court,
Right.
you are in court, you interpret for somebody. Just imagine yourself in court. If you are there, your life is in danger. Do you want an AI to help you?
No.
You don't want that, right? Because AI still doesn't understand nonverbal cues,
Right.
the cultural backgrounds, the emotion.
Right.
I can look at your face, your eye right now.
Yeah.
I can even tell what you're gonna say next. But I think AI cannot reach that stage yet. Maybe when it gets to that point, right? And we don't know when it's gonna happen.
Right.
So so far, I still don't have any worries about whether my job is gonna disappear very soon. But many people are gonna disagree with my statement. But we'll see. Okay.
Right, we have to see. Because, that's true. Because, AI cannot read our body language, cannot read our mannerisms, and especially in court cases,
Right.
sometimes they lost the nuances.
And also, it doesn't have empathy.
Right.
Right? No empathy for the person that we are interpreting for.
Right, and that's what I guess makes us human. Is
So
to really understand.
yes. So I'm not worried about that right now. Maybe in 10 years, we see.
Yes.